Hey everyone, this is Isometric, and today I want to talk about the Bethesda acquisition by Microsoft. We've had this news for a couple of days now. Phil Spencer has kind of confirmed that the vast majority of Bethesda games released in the future will be exclusive to the Microsoft and Xbox platforms. Speculation is over, but right now there's just a lot of talk about, is this a good thing? How does this impact different spheres of the gaming community? And I really just wanted to address some of the arguments that are kind of being weighed against this acquisition and against this move, and just dive a little bit deeper into what this all means. So the first point that I still hear a lot, I think everyone knows the answer to this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, is really that Microsoft is losing money by not releasing their games on the PlayStation 5. So, I mean, we all know that, that's not really how exclusives work. The point of the exclusive is to sell the platform, is to drive people towards that platform. It's the same reason why Nintendo doesn't release Mario on PlayStation or Xbox. It's because when people go to that platform, they start buying other games, and the console manufacturer will get royalties for all the games released on that console. So they want to grow the install base. In Microsoft's case, they want to grow Xbox. They want to grow Game Pass, Xbox Live Gold. They just want a bigger install base and a bigger subscriber base. And having all of the Bethesda games stay on the Microsoft platforms is what's going to help them do that. So that's just how it is, and it makes sense that once they have acquired Bethesda, that's the direction they're going to go in. So the next argument that I hear quite often is that this acquisition sets a really bad precedent for future acquisitions. The argument here is, okay, well, that was Bethesda, but now what about EA Games? Is someone going to buy them, or is Microsoft now going to buy like Activision and now keep it all exclusive to their platform? So it's a little bit more complicated than that, because acquisitions are a really risky endeavor. Every time a company has to acquire another company, it could go either way. If that company that they acquired doesn't necessarily grow, then they could lose a lot. And to acquire someone like EA Games or Activision, whether that be like Microsoft or Amazon or Google who acquires them, they have to pay a massive premium. They have to pay a big premium because those companies are doing well. They have huge projected returns, and they may not be able to make all that back up because they may not be able to grow those companies who are already doing well to the extent that they want to. So the reason why Bethesda was kind of a unique opportunity is Bethesda obviously has a lot of talent. They obviously have a lot of great IPs and ideas, but their sales hadn't really reached their true potential during this past generation. There's still a lot of room for growth and a lot of room for improvement. Of course, Bethesda's foray into like the multiplayer space and the live service space didn't really pan out, and some of the sales for some of their single player games stagnated a little bit. So Microsoft feels that they can really add a lot of value to Bethesda. They can improve it. They could grow it as well, and that Game Pass will be a really good home to Bethesda. And especially now, not everybody always wants to pay like top dollar for just a single player campaign, but they will definitely subscribe to Game Pass for that ability to play that. So Microsoft believes that they could really like grow Bethesda. There's still a big room for improvement. I think that they absolutely can. So I think that's why the Bethesda deal happened. It doesn't mean that like Take-Two and all the other big, Ubisoft are on the block. It just means that this was the right opportunity for both Microsoft and Bethesda. So then the last argument that I really hear quite often is that Microsoft should have grown their studios organically. They should not have purchased an already established publisher who already has a bunch of games on a ton of different platforms. And this is probably the argument that I understand the most. I think in an ideal world, we would have all liked it if Microsoft did something more similar to what Sony did, and kind of approach smaller, unproven studios and work with them to create new IPs, and then purchase them, or purchase smaller studios but then turn them into big studios. So obviously things like Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Sucker Punch, like Sony kind of helped develop these IPs that we now associate with the PlayStation brand. And we all wanted the Xbox team to do that, but the unfortunate situation is that they went in the direction at the time to go into the direction of the Kinect, And they also invested in some first-party games, or some exclusive games, I should say, that didn't pan out. Like Scalebound is a big example of something that just didn't pan out. And they really just lagged behind on developing those exclusive titles and those new exclusive IPs. And they're just too far behind right now to really mount a successful challenge against PlayStation. So they had to do this to get that immediate impact and to get that instant impact in order to get some games on their new platform, on their new next-gen hardware. And it's just something that kind of has to happen. They can't really just rely on multi-plats. So yes, we would have liked it if it was organic, but in the current situation, if we want Xbox to be competitive, a big acquisition like this could get them games this year and the next years, especially now with how long it takes to develop these AAA games. It takes like almost like 5 to 6 years at this point, and things like Avowed, Fable, all these games that could have a big impact, they're still quite far out. So I think the Bethesda acquisition will make the Xbox platform much more attractive to people who are looking for the next gen console. So how do I feel about this personally? So just to be clear, I don't even own an Xbox. I'm a PlayStation fan, and I own a PlayStation 5. That's my primary platform. But I really do like the competition, and I really do miss the days of the PS2 versus Xbox, or the PS3 versus the Xbox 360. Those were the days where if someone asked the question, okay, which one's better, which one should I buy, it's much tougher to answer that. I mean, Microsoft used to put out games that were genre-defying and groundbreaking. Like Halo kind of changed the way that first-person shooters, it set the new standard for first-person shooters on a console. And Gears of War, the next generation, on the 360, did the same thing for third-person shooters. Every third-person shooter would be compared to Gears of War after that was released. So I really do miss those days. Really, the Xbox One versus the PS4, I think most would agree that there wasn't a whole lot of competition there. The PS4 was just kind of on another level in terms of what it was releasing, hit after hit. And I would really like to see in this generation of both platforms are constantly, going back and forth trying to release the next biggest game to try to get there. I think that's just better for everyone, and it'll be better for this generation as a whole. So yeah, overall, I think that this move is great for gaming. It shows that Xbox is still interested in the console race, it shows that they're still willing to invest the money in order to do it, and I think they will push PlayStation to do even better in the future. So thanks for listening, and have a great day.